Hey, Yetis, this is Nick and Jack from the Best One Yet podcast. Now, the last company we worked at, they used Paylocity and everything just worked. It wasn't until launching our own media business, this show, that we realized how rare that is.
Because Paylocity is one delicious burrito of operational needs. They roll up HR, finance, and IT seamlessly into one delicious bite.
When everything wraps together like that all at once, your workforce, your tech stack, your business, you don't need more tools. You don't even need cilantro.
You need one solution.
And that is why Paylocity built a single platform to connect HR, finance, and IT with AI-driven insights and automated workflows that simplify the complex and power what's next.
Or as we call it, a delicious operational burrito.
Yes, we do. Experience a one place for all your HCM needs, besties.
So start now at Paylocity.com/one.
Paylocity.com/ONE.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
Are your ad campaigns lighting up the dashboard, but not the pipeline? That's Bullspend. And marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
My boss asked for results, so I opened my dashboard for the only positive-sounding metric I had, impressions.
Cut the bull spend. See revenue, not just reach. LinkedIn delivers the highest return on ad spend of major ad networks. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tech Magic, the podcast where we talk about technology, innovation, AI, on-device AI, spatial computing, and everything in between. I am your host, Cathy Hackl, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Lee. Lee, how you doing?
I'm good. I've done a lot of traveling lately. I'm finally back. You've been doing a ton of traveling lately. You're finally back. The show's finally back. We went on a hiatus because, well, I mean, you do that going into a new year, but I think both of us have just been traveling a lot.
Yeah, I know. It was funny because you told me I'm going to be on the coast. And I was like, which coast? So now my question is, where in the world was Lee Kebler? Like, where were you?
I was on the Oregon coast for a couple of days, and then I was in Florida for a brief, and I mean a very brief, like 30 minutes. You and I were in the same city.
Oh, that's so funny.
Because I had a connecting flight in Las Vegas while you were at CES. I was going to text you, but it was such a short run to the next gate. I didn't get a chance to.
Oh my gosh.
We were together for a very short period.
Yeah, very short period. Well, 2026 is like here. We're almost mid-January, which is crazy. And I mean, tech is not slowing down. If anything, it's speeding up.
And I wish it would slow down because I'll tell you the thing that I hate most about traveling, because I'm not a traveler. You know this about me. You're the traveler. I'm not the traveler. Is you leave your setup. If you're gone for like 2 weeks, you're going to come back and there's going to be a ton of devices that demand you to upgrade and update things. And then none of them work. So we had that happen this week. I came back. I turned on my computer. Apple wants me to update to a new operating system. My iPhone wants to make me update to this, that. Now my webcam doesn't work. And so
no video for you guys this week.
I tried. Oh, did I try? I just sat here cursing out this new operating system. I don't know. Okay. Have you updated your operating systems yet?
No. I mean, I just got back from CES. I'm like, no. I mean, I barely touched any technology over the weekend. I just needed a break.
Yeah, I understand that. So I don't know if you've been following the news, but like Windows 11 not doing well. A lot of backlash. A lot of users are upset. And it's not just like, oh, it's the trendy thing to be like anti-AI or anything like that. It's just such a push in a direction that makes the operating system like something you have to relearn. And I don't know if we're in a place where like people have the bandwidth to like relearn an entire operating system.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I want to relearn anything. I'm learning a lot every single day using AI, but my God, like I don't know if I want to relearn. I don't know.
I was really happy with like the Mac OS, and then they just updated. They sent out a whole new Tahoe, I think and they pushed liquid glass. And so I reboot this thing, and now I've got widgets like it's Windows Vista era, and I just so upset.
Well, in happier news, you're upset, but I'm actually quite happy after being at CES for 4 or 5 days.
This was the one to go to. I feel like a lot of FOMO, especially watching like your Instagram and things like that. And my friends Instagram who went, I went and spent time with family, so I didn't miss out on anything. It's definitely a good way of spending my time.
Don't have any FOMO. Like, I really feel it's next year. I want to be honestly. I feel like it's not that you didn't miss anything in 2026. No, that's not it. I mean, CES was great. I had a great time. I'm not the biggest fan of Vegas per se. I don't gamble and I don't smoke. And I'm like, oh, it was like not my thing, but the technology brings me there every year. So that was fun. This is what I'll say. My insights and my perspectives right now. It was obviously AI everywhere, right? Obviously AI everywhere. These are my observations. The conversation in the AI world is definitely moving away from just large language models, which we have talked about are going to hit a ceiling, towards conversations that seem to be, in my perspective, a lot deeper, a lot more important. And those conversations were around 3 things, I would say. Embodied or physical AI, so AI in the form of robots, AI in the form of holograms, all these sorts of things. The shift from large language models to agentic AI. Of course, agentic continues to be a big thing, but world models. I mean, Dr. Fei-Fei Li, the godmother of AI, was on stage with AMD's CEO talking about world models and how that's being enabled. And then the big thing was AI on everything, on-device AI to the next level, AI into everything. So that was interesting. Then the other thing, and you saw this from my videos, like in my posts, glasses galore, glasses everywhere. And nice looking glasses. Like I was like, okay, we've come a long way. Glasses everywhere. Were they all a hit? No, not all of them were a hit. But Meta was doing a big push for their Meta Ray-Bans and the Ray-Ban displays, which were actually in stock. Like I got my pair there.
Oh, you did?
Yes, they had them in stock.
At CES.
At CES. Very smart. They had them in stock only in a few places. I was able to buy them at a special VIP Meta event in Cipriani, but they had 2 Meta labs where you could also buy them in the Wynn. But yeah, it's one of the few places in the world where you could get the Meta Ray-Ban displays because they're sold out.
Right. I went looking for them for Christmas and they weren't anywhere. They did not exist. It was something.
They had them there. I almost called you and I was like, should I tell Lee? But I was like, I don't know. I got busy afterwards. But I did get a pair.
That would have been tricky. I don't know if I would have said, yeah, snag me a pair or not without trying them first. Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing. I mean, I tried them first. They looked good on me, which I was like, okay. I was like, yay, this looks good.
Of course. You've had Ray-Bans before. You know Ray-Bans look good on you. So yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, but I was like, I wanted to see how they looked, and they looked really good. So I got like the sand color ones. And then the display, I mean, for people like us that have been in this space for a long time, it's nothing monumental. It's really a display window, but it's great. They've got some cool things coming. They've got the band, which I think is really the innovation there, is the neural band where you control things. So that was exciting. So I got a pair. I said, okay, I'm more excited about Orion and kind of what they're going to bring into the market eventually. But yeah, great headset. Lots of people wearing it. Lots of creators. I did a panel on stage about the future of wearables in fashion. I did 3 panels, and we'll talk about these, but it was the future of wearables in fashion. And we had Joshua Tu from Meta on stage, and it was really cool because he was wearing the display glasses, but I could tell also he was reading the prompter app where he can actually look in the display window and look at the answers he had to say. And you could tell also during the panel, he would be like moving his finger, like his hands. So I knew he was doing things in the glasses while the panel was going on, maybe looking at what the next question was going to be or things like that. So that was pretty cool to see in real time.
Look, I've tried to get a demo of it so many times. And then every time I get this like notification of like, yeah, it's not in stock yet. And they keep pushing it back. So not FOMO, but like, yeah, that's cool. So you got a pair.
Yeah, I bought a pair.
So is this going to be a daily driver for you? You think that you're going to actually regularly go back and use?
I don't know. This year I'm going to be doing a lot more video. So I think if there is that prompter feature, love that. I definitely want to record more in first person. So I'll be using that as well. I don't know. I do love the live translation they have. So now that I'm going to the Middle East, I think it'll be very useful as well. So yeah, I don't know if I'll use it every day. I'm not sure if I'll be using it every day, but I hope to be using more often than I would, the other Ray-Bans. So because I have a pair of the other ones that I didn't really use as much, I think this has a little bit more utility. It's heading in the right direction, at least in my perspective. But definitely device, whether it was in necklaces, earrings, any type of jewelry, AI everywhere, AI pets. There's even I even saw a robot for your pet. So a robot that takes care of your pet and which your pet can ride if they get bored. So it's like, oh, AI for everyone.
I did see a lot of robots, like a shockingly large amount of robots. I didn't see any that I thought were particularly useful yet, but I saw a lot of robots.
I took a picture with one, which I was like, ladies and gents, he folds laundry. I was like, this is who I want in my house.
I did see a video of the folding laundry robot. Yeah, was that the best robot you saw?
This is what I'll say. In public places, yes. Behind closed doors, I saw interesting things.
Okay, it's going to be like that.
It's going to be like that, Lee. I know too much. I've seen too much.
The robot that I saw that I'm probably most interested in is the Roborock. It's a lawnmower. This had been attempted in the past. It's that I've seen year after year after year, but it finally feels like maybe this one is one that will work, especially since it's integrating LiDAR into the system so it can see the full landscape. Because I was well, if this thing goes into flower garden, it's just going to destroy.
It's going to mop everything, chop everything up. Yeah, that one was really cool. And also had a little pinch hand. So it could pick up a watering can. So while it's cutting the grass, it can also water your flowers.
Yes.
Right. So it can go next to them. That one was really cool to see. I mean, there were robots everywhere. I don't know.
It should be pointed out that the laundry folding robot is called the SwitchBot One Row H1. I just looked it up because I saw a video of it, but I wanted to know a little bit more about it. It's expected to come out in late 2026, but the price is still $10,000.
Yeah.
I might fold my own laundry for $10,000.
Well, you know what? In reality, I prefer to pay a human that can do more than just fold laundry for that, So I don't know. What is the utility there? Prices will eventually go down, right? But yeah, lots of different robots. That was fun. Robots galore, everyone. Glasses galore. More conversations around quantum as well starting to be had. I don't know. I did feel like there were less people this year. Felt a little bit like maybe less folks there. I do feel next year is an inflection point, I think, because we're going to see, here's my prediction, in the last 2 quarters, especially October and September, when a lot of the developer shows happen, we're going to see big improvements in AI devices, whether it is from OpenAI announcing whatever device they're working on with Johnny Ive, or in Meta, whatever Meta is going to bring to the market, or Apple. I think we're going to see a lot of stuff in Q3 and Q4, especially Q4, that's going to set the tone for 27. So, Lee, you better be there in 27.
Okay. All right. I'll put it on my calendar now.
Yes.
And I'll do my best to be there. Here's my question. With the amount of AI conversation that was CES, because CES is one of those things where, because it's the Consumer Electronics Show, which I think they might have actually rebranded to the Corporate Electronics Show. I don't remember exactly what the C stands for now.
Consumer Electronics Show. But now they just call it CES. It's not supposed to be Consumer Electronics Show. Yes, just CES.
CES has always been a large net of technology. I mean, from refrigerators and dishwashers to the next gen video game console to robots that aren't going to come out for another 5-10 years, right?
Yeah.
With AI being such a major focus, it kind of feels like it might have been a little bit of an echo chamber. Was there any honest conversation about okay, these large companies are all pushing, and by large companies, I mean 5 of them, are really pushing for the future of AI and everything. That's not an incredibly popular, from the populist standpoint, right? From the population of humanity, that's not an incredibly popular thought right now. So much negativity has been said that the CEO from NVIDIA even said that the relentless negativity around AI is hurting society and has done a lot of damage. That was Jensen's quote. So my question is, was there any honest conversation of hey, maybe we should consumer test where AI makes the best impact and not just throw everything, including the kitchen sink, which I think kitchen sink would actually be a good use case for AI. But is there more of a conversation happening now about where AI does fit as opposed to just trying to make it fit in every square peg in a round hole?
Here's what I'll say. I think behind closed doors, certain conversations were probably had that were more aligned to that. I think most of the people externally are there and like we're all techie people and like we're overwhelmed and we're excited to be there. So I don't think it was necessarily happening in some places. There were several panels I was on that did come up. So I think the conversations that are being had at what scale and what level and who can really change it, I think that differs. I don't know. I mean, I was on a panel about standards where we had some conversations about that. I was on a panel as well at the AI House, the CES AI House. I was on it with BlackRock and KPMG and the CEO of Orchestra AI. And there was a conversation there about how AI could be useful to humanity, how it isn't in some ways. So I don't know. I just feel like maybe those conversations were had and there was a lot of media coverage, but most overall, people are talking about how wonderful tech is, right? I think it's more the optimistic crowd.
Totally makes sense. That makes sense there. I was just always curious of the honest conversations that are happening of like, okay, yeah, you built this, but what does it do?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of tech in search of a problem to solve. Like you see that every year at CES. We're like, oh, this is a brilliant invention and they might get an innovation award. But what problem is this really solving? What's the product market fit here? So there's a lot of that.
Okay, what was a shocking product you didn't expect and now you really want that you might have seen?
Oh my gosh.
I know, I come with the tough questions. I didn't get to go, so I get to ask them.
I mean, there were some makeup ones that looked really interesting. I don't know. There was like a lot of stuff in the beauty and wellness space. I can't choose one thing, but I mean, there were a few things where you could do like an at-home, like cortisol, not like the different hormone test immediately at home, which I thought was really useful, with saliva. So you didn't have to like send it 2 weeks and wait for it to come back or do a blood test. So things like that. I think like in the health and wellness space, there was a lot of really relevant stuff. And I was like, okay, this is brilliant. This is really cool. I would want this. So yeah. Oh, you know which one it is? I'll tell you, Lee. The one I want, and people can purchase it. I can't remember the name right now, but it was this company that had these nails, kind of the ones that you put on. You can have, not clip-on nails, but you actually use glue for them. But you could put your nail into this little machine and select the color, and it'll change the color. Like you don't have to go to the nail salon to change your nail color, which I was like, oh my God, this is brilliant. So I loved that product. I can't remember the name of it, but it was all over socials. Brilliant. I was like, I would so buy that. And you can actually buy it right now. So I was like, yep. Especially for someone like me that travels so much, I love the idea of like, I'm going to go out and I want my nails to match my outfit right now. So brilliant use of tech.
I saw two as I was like kind of watching CES happen. One was incredibly boring, but I think prolific. I'm so excited about it. And the other one was just too stinking cool to like not be excited about. Did you happen to see the Trinity vehicle that NVIDIA and Will.i.am put together?
Yes, it was so cool. Tell folks about this because I thought it was brilliant.
It's a single passenger vehicle, right? And it looks like it came straight out of Tron. It is the most amazing.
It does.
It really does. Yeah, it's called the Trinity. It's a 3-wheel EV, completely EV. And it's basically a brain on wheels is how they're marketing it as AI powered. So everything within it is something that you interact with and helps you get from point A to point B through an interactive AI. I love concept cars. I've loved concept cars since I was a kid. And my biggest frustration when I was really little, we lived close to Epcot in Orlando. And Epcot in Orlando had this whole area full of concept cars from like Ford and to Mercedes and I think Chevrolet and all these other cars. But they were always futuristic cars that they didn't actually work. It was just kind of like a mock-up, but they looked really good. This actually works. Like this is a real deal thing and I'm so excited about it. I want one. I have no idea what they cost though, and I'm too afraid to ask.
Well, I love the idea, like, especially for cities that have like a lot of cars and like heavy transit. I'm like, oh, this is cool. So yeah, that was a very cool thing to see.
It's a city-focused passenger vehicle, right? So it goes 150 miles is the projected range, and it can hit up to 60 miles per hour. So that's like motorbike territory. Yeah, I kind of want one. Oh, I got a projected price is around $30,000.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know. I guess you could buy a car for that. So
Expected August 27th. All manufacturing will be based in LA's Boyle Heights, which that's very specific because that's where Will.i.am's from. He's a big proponent of supporting Boyle Heights and getting industry and education to Boyle Heights. That's just super exciting. Yeah, congrats, Will. And it's a partnership with NVIDIA, so it's powered by NVIDIA. That's just fun. And then the other one that I got kind of nerdy about, and it sounds so boring, but did you happen to see anything about the Flint paper batteries?
No, I did not. I think I read about them, but I did not see them.
Oh, these look stinking cool. So they're paper batteries. They're developed out of Singapore, a company called Flint. They're biodegradable batteries made from water and cellulose as opposed to lithium and cobalt.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And so like as a gadget guy, especially as like a retro gadget guy who likes to rebuild old tech, I go through so many batteries that I kind of like the green side of me feels real guilty because they're really hard to recycle. You're not supposed to just take your batteries and throw them in the trash. I know that's what like 90% of the population probably does. Please don't do that. You're not supposed to do that. There's a recycling process for these batteries. But to go to a paper-based biodegradable battery method that can be single use as a AAA or a AA or a C or a D cell, that's cool.
That's brilliant. I love that idea.
That's not sexy tech, but it is very cool tech.
Oh, but useful tech. I think, I didn't see it, but that sounds brilliant. See, that's the thing. Like, there's so much to see. There's so much to see. It's like you can spend hours and hours at the conference center or at the Venetian Expo walking around and just getting engulfed in all sorts of technology. It's crazy.
I saw a lot of glasses. I saw some VR. Gets me excited. You sent me an article about the X-Real. Now, I've been a fan of X-Real for a long time. So X-Real glasses, they're not AR. I think people would get them confused for AR, really, but they're a display glass, right? So you can put an incredibly large display in front of you and then like connect it to your phone, or in this particular case, your gaming device. So you could like dock your Nintendo Switch to it. It actually has a Nintendo Switch dock, and you're wearing glasses as opposed to like the TV. They're very comfortable. Did you get to try them?
I've tried them before. I didn't do the line for the X-Real or the Rokid. There were long lines, actually. A lot of people that wanted to try them.
I tried them. I think it was maybe AWE, or there was another conference I was at that they had them last. And they're incredibly clear. They're surprisingly high definition and have one of the larger field of views, which I think they can get away with because they're not trying to augment your reality. They're trying to put a display and extend that reality. So yeah, that was one that I kind of missed out on. I'm keeping an eye on those. Those will be fun.
All right, well, let's go on break. And then when we come back, we'll talk about some of the things I saw at CES and other things we're excited about.
This message is brought to you by Warner Brothers Discovery Advertising. And this is more than an ad. This is an invitation to be part of the stories the world can't stop watching, to connect with moments that dominate the conversation, to participate in culture, not just advertise around it. With the most sought-after IP, passionate audiences, and an advanced AI-powered foundation, WBD advertising transforms attention into influence and impressions into outcomes. This is innovation. This is impact. This is opportunity. This is Warner Brothers Discovery Advertising. Visit advertising.wbd.com to learn more.
Blowing ad budget on metrics that look great till the CFO sees them? That's bull spend. And marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
I remember telling my boss, it'll be good for the brand, when leads were slow. Yeah, it wasn't.
Cut the bull spend. LinkedIn lets you target by company, job title, and more. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Yetis, this is Nick and Jack from the Best One Yet podcast. Now, the last company we worked at, they used Paylocity and everything just worked. It wasn't until launching our own media business, this show, that we realized how rare that is.
Because Paylocity is one delicious burrito of operational needs. They roll up HR, finance, and IT seamlessly into one delicious bite.
When everything wraps together like that all at once, your workforce, your tech stack, your business, you don't need more tools. You don't even need cilantro.
You need one solution.
And that is why Paylocity built a single platform to connect HR, finance, and IT with AI-driven insights and automated workflows that simplify the complex and power what's next.
Or as we call it, a delicious operational burrito.
Yes, we do. Experience a one place for all your HCM needs, besties.
So start now at Paylocity.com/one.
Paylocity.com/ONE.
Hannah, I just Venmo'd you for dinner.
Obsessed. I'm spending it right now on the lip gloss that's been sitting in my cart.
What do you mean spending it right now?
You can instantly spend your balance with the Venmo debit card or when you pay with Venmo at checkout.
Stop. Say more.
More exactly. The more you do with Venmo, the more you get, like earning up to 5% cash back with Venmo Stash. Get the Venmo debit card or check out online. Venmo Stash bundle terms and exclusions apply. Max $100 per month. See terms at venmo.me/stash terms. Venmo checkout not available at all merchants. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A.
All right. So I want to tell you about two things that I experienced at CES that I thought were really interesting. So one of them was, I can't remember the name of the company right now. Now I'll look for it in a second. But they invited me to a private demo. For people that don't know, when you go to CES, there's the big conferences happening. There's the other conferences on the side that are part of CES. There's the big Las Vegas Convention Center, which is packed to the brim with innovation, the Venetian Expo as well. There's like different things happening. But there's also a lot of companies that get like suites, for example, at the Venetian or the Palazzo or the Cosmo or whatever, and they do private demos. So this is a demo that you're invited to. It's not for everyone to walk into. And I got invited to every year. I actually find that those are the most important ones because that's where you actually get to see things behind closed doors. And this one was really cool. So what I got to see was a robot. This is working on device. So this is working on the robot. The robot was able to understand if you were talking to it, and was able to understand, well, the program running inside the robot, let me clarify, was able to understand when you were talking to it, also when it should respond and when it shouldn't respond. So like I turn to someone else and have a conversation with someone, like it knew not to interject. So I thought that was actually kind of cool for several reasons, because right now we're talking to, like I talk to my ChatGPT quite often, right? But it knows when to talk because I'm talking to it. There's a signal there. But in this case, this was tracking me, was looking at, is this person paying attention? Is this person having the intention of talking to me? Right. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Okay, so here's a question. The whole goal is to get you talking to a lot of tech. And a lot of these brands are bringing in this communication of like, you talk to the tech, it can respond to you. This is part of where AI comes into play. And you start getting like verbal feedback. That seems like chaos a bit from like a demo perspective at a show like CES, where you have, how does that all come together? Does that question make sense?
That makes sense. I'll explain it. By the way, the company's called Attention Labs. Attention Labs, and I was invited by David Kim. They actually won an award at the show. So congratulations to them. So the way they did it is they did it by groups of people, right? So you couldn't have like 50 people doing the demo at the same time. It was smaller groups, 3 or 4 people, especially it was a smaller space. So what we kind of, because they were in a suite, people would go in their little groups. So that's how they managed it. So it wasn't like the robot was there with 50 people trying to figure out who to talk to. It was more like 3 or 4 people having a conversation with it. And then it would kind of interject or answer questions when you were focused on it. So that was kind of cool. I liked it. I thought it was brilliant. And then the fact that it was on the device was really interesting for a certain number of reasons. And one of them is, now that I'm spending so much time in the Middle East, a lot of these countries have rules where you have to have sovereign data that remains in country. So it's not going up on the cloud. So I was like, oh, this is really interesting from a perspective of using it for customer service or banking or things that might require a lot of data, right? For it to remain in country, on device, in the specific area where it happened. So yeah, just a few things that I thought about when I was doing the demo.
No, that's important. And I think that's one of those things where that's the hint of a well thought out product, because there's so many things that rush to the cloud. And that only works in like the United States and a handful of other countries. A lot of countries don't let user data or data of any generative from their shores like offshore. So it might go to what would be considered cloud, but that's still a server somewhere on their shore. And so I think this is one of the smart things that Apple's been doing is like, as they're trying to roll out their AI, a lot of their AI is actually trying. It doesn't seem strong, but it's strong because it's happening on device as opposed to going off into the cloud where you don't have control over it. So seeing things like robotics or AI that is taking that in consideration, personally, I think makes it more powerful. And we'll probably have to see a lot more of that as laws get written for these type of things.
Absolutely. So I thought that was a promising invention. That was one thing. The other thing I had a really fun time doing is our friend Charlie Fink and Ted Shilwitz and Rody Abovitz have a podcast called the IXR Podcast. They're doing great. They had their yearly meetup where they bring a lot of people together from the XR community. So that was fun. When I went to the dinner, you could do a free experience. So where they held the dinner, it's inside Area 15, which is an entertainment area outside of the Strip. And there's a whole bunch of different activities you could do there. One of them is by Felix and Paul Studios, which if you've been in the XR space, you've heard their name, right? They've done amazing work. They're the ones that did the ISS footage in 360. So Felix and Paul have been around for a long time. And they had an immersive VR experience called Interstellar Arc at Area 15. It's a deep space adventure. You put the headsets on and you go into this futuristic space travel adventure where you're going off of Earth into a new planet. And we got to do it. I went with a couple of friends from Dubai, and also we got to hang out with Joanna Popper, our good friend from the XR industry. She did it with us. So it was a group of 4 of us doing it. You're wearing the VR headset the whole time, but what you're seeing is a totally different reality of what's really in front of you.
Do you remember what headset they had you use?
I think it was the Meta one. It wasn't the Quest per se. It was like, what's the other one?
Well, there's the Quest, and then there's like the 3.
The Quest Pro or whatever. What's it called?
There is a Quest Pro.
I think it might have been the Quest Pro.
Okay.
I don't know if it was just the regular Quest. To be honest, I didn't even pay attention to the headset.
That's what I would have done.
I know you were, but I was just kind of like, no. It was really, I think, you know what? I'm going to ask Joanna which headset it was. I think it was the Quest, but I don't know if it was the Quest Pro, to be honest. I can't remember. But it was super fun, really exciting, and you're kind of on a spaceship. It made you feel great. The wayfinding was done well. The graphics were great. It was a little bit too long for my taste. I'm going to be honest. I did not prepare for this because I didn't really think. We got to the dinner. I wasn't sure if we were going to get there in time to do the demo. So I'm in heels. And this is a long experience. And you're doing a lot of walking in space, quote unquote in space. You're in the physical world, right? But you're in space. Lots of walking. So at some point, I'm in heels. My feet are hurting. I'm like, I'm out, guys. You guys finish the voyage because I'm getting off this spaceship. So, I was like, I raised my hand and then they took me out. And it was cool because I actually got to see what it looked like. It's a bare bones space with this metal handrails that follow the path of where you're going to. But it was like crazy to see, like, this is all technology and this is all like creating an alternate reality that you and I have experienced. But I was like, this is so cool for anyone to kind of experience and see. So huge shout out to Felix and Paul. Huge shout out to, our friends at the IXR podcast as well for allowing folks to have this really cool experience.
That's great. So off of the CES tech, did you go to any shows?
No, I didn't make it to any of the keynotes at the Sphere. I didn't go see the Wizard of Oz. I've been to the Sphere many times, so like it wasn't something I needed to do. So a lot of people did though. A lot of people were like, that was the hot ticket, was to go to like the LG keynote inside. Oh, another hot ticket, and you love this, is Lego. Lego brought their smart bricks. They announced their smart bricks, which really cool perspective. I love that they were doing a keynote. It's interesting because Brian Schwab, who I used to work with at Magic Leap, he went to Lego and he was working behind closed doors. When I went to visit the Lego offices in London, they have a specific area that's behind closed doors you cannot go into. And some of my friends worked there. And now it's cool because I got to see some of the work that they've been working on, which is the Lego Smart Bricks.
One of my first jobs when I was living in Nashville, Tennessee, this was back in like 2003, was in a building. We had this little like record label, but the top floor was owned by Lego. And I don't know what they did up there, but during lunch in this building, you would see pretty smart looking people in lab coats that had logos of Lego on their lapel. That's a hard thing to say if you say it 3 times. Logos of Lego on their lapel. Walking around, and I never knew what they were making up there, but it was always intriguing to share that office space with them. The smart brick does look really interesting, and I think Lego deserves more credit in the longevity of them putting technology into Lego, right? You think of Legos of just like blocks that click together, but they were doing Lego robotics in like the school systems back in the early 2000s. And those led to like design learning toys, programming toys, and things like that. So seeing the next iteration of that, I think caught a lot of people off guard. But as I watched it roll out, I go, oh, this totally makes sense. It's going to be embedded with like motion sensors and microphones, speakers and LEDs and all this other type of stuff. And it's just going to like take the idea of building and rudimentary robotics from like a toy level to such a new place that I'm a little jealous. Kids are going to have a lot of fun with those.
They are. They're going to have a blast. So that was another cool thing. That was a big thing at the show, which I love. Congratulations to Lego and to all the folks there.
Yeah, seeing the A-Wing Star Wars type of stuff like set with those, I was just like, they did like the Darth Vader's TIE Fighter and some other ones, and it's going to be fun. I want the X-Wing. That's the one I got.
Well, I'll say CES is Geekapalooza. I mean, oh my God, you can have such a good time. So yeah, highly recommend. I think 27 is going to be a big year for the show.
I'll be there.
You better.
I don't really have an excuse. It's not far from me.
Plan ahead this time, Lee Kebler. We need to be there.
We will. We absolutely will. With that, welcome back to 2026. We've got a lot more in store for you. And I'm just glad to be back doing the show with you. Welcome back to the new year.
Yay.
All right, everyone. Well, that's it. And thank you for tuning in to Tech Magic, where we always invite you to come for the tech, stay for the magic. I'm Lee Kebler here with the incredible Cathy Hackl. Special thanks, as always, to Adweek for bringing this show to you. If you've enjoyed today's episode, just leave us a review. Let us know your thoughts. We'd love to connect with you. Just search for Tech Magic, Cathy Hackl, or me, Lee Kebler. You'll find us. We'll be back next week.
Are your ad campaigns lighting up the dashboard, but not the pipeline? That's bullspend, and marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
My boss asked for results, so I opened my dashboard for the only positive-sounding metric I had: impressions.
Cut the bull spend. See revenue, not just reach. LinkedIn delivers the highest return on ad spend of major ad networks. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
Hello, it's Brooke Devard from Naked Beauty. Join me each week for unfiltered discussion about beauty trends, self-care journeys, wellness tips, and the products we absolutely love and cannot get enough of. If you are a skincare obsessive and you spend 20 plus minutes on your skincare routine, this podcast is for you. Or if you're a newbie at the beginning of your skincare journey, you'll love this podcast as well because we go so much deeper than beauty. I talk to incredible and inspiring people from across industries about their relationship with beauty. You'll also hear from skincare experts. We break down lots of myths in the beauty industry. If this sounds like your thing, search for Naked Beauty on your podcast app and listen along. I hope you'll join us.
Hannah, I just Venmo'd you for dinner.
Obsessed. I'm spending it right now on the lip gloss that's been sitting in my cart.
What do you mean spending it right now?
You can instantly spend your balance with the Venmo debit card or when you pay with Venmo at checkout.
Stop. Say more.
More exactly. The more you do with Venmo, the more you get, like earning up to 5% cash back with Venmo Stash. Get the Venmo debit card or check out online. Venmo Stash bundle terms and exclusions apply. Max $100 per month. See terms at venmo.me/stash terms. Venmo checkout not available at all merchants. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A.